Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today Lane Kiffin continues to be college football's biggest Twitter troll. What are we talking about? Well, as you guys know, this Saturday, Ole Miss defeated LSU at home 24-19. The game was a 1.5-point spread where Ole Miss was favored, but it still did feel like a lot of people were picking LSU to win this game. They thought LSU was going to get back on track after having some offensive struggles. And obviously, that was not the case. Ole Miss kind of dominated this game. They dominated in first downs. They dominated in all of the yardage statistics. And if it wasn't for a bunch of penalties that Ole Miss committed in this game, I believe they committed over 100 yards of penalties. It very well could have been Ole Miss almost bordering on a blowout of LSU. And Lane Kiffin, the head coach of Ole Miss, he has been listening to people that have been doubting this Ole Miss team. He was listening to the people that were saying that LSU was going to go into Oxford and dominate this Ole Miss team. And he went on a little bit of a Twitter spree today after the game. Let's go ahead and I basically compiled a bunch of different tweets here, as you guys can now see on your screen. We'll go through all of them because Lane Kiffin, he's a petty boy. As you guys can see here, this is the what is this? Is this the this is the SEC game day picking before this game. And you can see here, every single person on that set picked, except for Paul Feinbaum, picked LSU. Very interesting. This is the one that Lane Kiffin that I'm going to show you guys now, as you guys can now see. This is one he posted like immediately after the game ended. It was like literally like 15 minutes after the game ended, he posted this. And this is a in-season opponent report, the Brian Kelly Show, Tuesday, September 25th, 2025. Head coach Brian Kelly was quoted as saying this: "We're looking forward to it. We're going to keep that Magnolia Trophy right here in Baton Rouge, right where it deserves to be. And our guys are excited for the opportunity." BK giving Lane Train a bunch of bulletin board material. Lane Kiffin, very petty. He is listening to everything you guys are saying. He also said this in the post-game press conference: Lane Kiffin on what Ole Miss avoiding a $500,000 fine for a field storming gets you in the portal. He said half of one of their LSU DBs. Lane, hit him where it hurts. Hit him with the body shot, Lane. And then this is a lot of stuff that was going on here. This is the Ole Miss football account. LSU posted the final score from Oxford, and then a lot of people are making fun of these, like, weird little TikToks that Brian Kelly was doing with recruits a few years ago. So I believe that's it. Oh, no. Here's one, too. I couldn't even believe this one, guys. I couldn't even believe this one. This is, I guess Lane Kiffin has a Twitter account for his dog, and it's for sure his dog. It's not like some parody account or something. It's got 65,000 followers here. This is his dog's account, and his dog, which I'm sure would have gotten approved by Mr. Lane Kiffin, posted this hat here that says Brian Kelly can't run the damn ball. Wow. These are not just like, hey, I'm going after, people that picked against us. Hey, I'm not going, or I'm just going after somebody that, hey, they thought this was going to be an easy win and they underestimated us. No. This is Lane Kiffin being like, I'm going to be petty. I'm going to win the Twitter battle just like I won the football game. I'm going to win online just as much as I did win on the field. And you got to love this stuff. This is Lane Kiffin. He does this whether he wins or whether he loses. He's not afraid to be a smack talker. He's done that a lot of times to Alabama. Probably not the best idea to do it before a game against the Alabama Nick Saban, because, those teams kind of beat the crap out of Lane for a few years there. But this is what makes Lane Kiffin. And he's got to have this awareness too that like he's doing this stuff, and there's all of these like that first one I think that we saw, the scouting report one that was posted like within the last 5 hours. It's got 2 million impressions on Twitter already. That thing's gonna get like 7, 8, maybe even 10 million Twitter impressions. So he's doing this to get attention. He's doing this because he likes it, and he's dang good at being an internet troll. So shout out to Lane Kiffin. I want to, before we go here, though, I want to talk about Ole Miss as a football team before we end this video here today, because Ole Miss, you kind of thought, they missed their shot last year because they obviously had Jackson Dart. They had an incredibly talented football team. They have the bad loss against Kentucky, and you kind of like, Ole Miss, like you missed your shot last year. And then they're coming into this year, and you're like, hey, this is still a pretty talented football team, but I don't think many people were predicting like, hey, Ole Miss is going to be right there in the mix again to make the college football playoff. I thought people maybe were thinking, we liked a lot of other teams in the SEC to be the 4, maybe even 5 teams out of that conference that make the college football playoff. And then even heading into this year, you had the game against Arkansas, where Arkansas is dropping 35 on you guys. You're like, hey, I'm not sure about this defense. And then you have the Kentucky game that was a little bit too close for comfort. And then Austin Simmons is hurt. And you're like, it doesn't seem like it's the year for Ole Miss. It doesn't seem like this team is going to have the year that, the best possible year that they could have had. It seems like this might end up being like a worst case scenario for Ole Miss. And then Trinidad Chambliss comes in as the backup quarterback. He's awesome today. He outplayed Garrett Nussmeier today. Garrett Nussmeier was a guy that we're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. This guy could win the Heisman. He's going to lead LSU to the SEC championship game. He's going to lead LSU to the college football playoff and beyond. And Trinidad Chambliss, the backup quarterback for Ole Miss, outplayed Garrett Nussmeier. He has been incredible since he has gotten the starting job because Austin Simmons' injury. And you kind of have to think too, like, hey, is he going to be the starter going forward with how, like, is he just playing so well that you can't take him out? I'm not sure what the vibe is with that on with the Ole Miss fans and the Ole Miss, coaching staff, and what Lane Kiffin really thinks about that. But after this win here today, when you look through the rest of Ole Miss's schedule, this team has an incredible opportunity to make the college football playoff. The rest of the year, I mean, they're already 3-0 in the SEC. They play at home against Washington State, at Georgia, at Oklahoma, and by the way, the at Oklahoma game, John Mateer probably won't be back from his wrist surgery for that. Or if he is back, it is his first game back. So if there's any time that you want to play Oklahoma, who I do think has a really good defense and has a really good football team, it is with their backup quarterback in. And no shade to Michael Hawkins, but I think John Mateer is really that good of a football player where you are going to have a tremendous drop off whoever your backup is. South Carolina versus the powerhouse that is the Citadel. Florida, Billy Napier will probably be fired by that game. And then at Mississippi State for the Egg Bowl, which should be a good game. Mississippi State very well could have beaten Tennessee today. Maybe should have beaten Tennessee today. So that's not necessarily a walkover that you maybe thought it was heading into this year. But like, if they just handle their business at home and then they get either the Egg Bowl or the Mississippi State game, this is a playoff team. I am relatively confident that this team will make the playoff. The defense, I was saying I was a little concerned about them with the Arkansas game and then the Kentucky game. And then I was kind of like, oh, I think Tulane could sneaky upset them a week ago. Oh, they beat the crap out of Tulane, and they dominated LSU today. Like we said earlier, they dominated LSU. Like, they did have the home field advantage, but it's still domination. And like, to push around that LSU defense, like the LSU offense, okay, you dominate them. Like, that's one thing. But to push around that LSU defense that I think we all thought was very, very capable is the same LSU defense that forced DJ Lagway to throw 5 picks just a few weeks ago. To dominate that LSU defense, to get pushed, to run the ball successfully, to have Chambliss outplay Garrett Nussmeier, this is very impressive. Ole Miss has a very good football team, and you guys down in Oxford and Mississippi, you guys should be very happy with the job that Lane Kiffin is doing there. He is doing an incredible job. This is an incredible football team, and I'm at the point now where I think this team should make the playoff, and when and if they do make the playoff, They can be a factor. This can be a team that can win 1 or 2 games in the college football playoff, maybe even more. Maybe even more. And that's not something that anyone was thinking before the season. So shout out to you guys, Ole Miss Rebels. Really good football team. Impressive win today. Keep it up. Lane Kiffin, keep the trolling, big boy. Keep the trolling. Keep the trolling. I love it. I love the energy. I love it. All right, that's going to do it for this episode here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this podcast. It's the number one thing that you can do to help support us. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 931 right now. So if you hit that subscribe button, that will mean the world to me. We're posting college football content like this, like 4 or 5 days a week whenever I have time. So the more subscriptions I get, the more likes I get on this video, it tells me, hey, I should be doing more content like this. So your feedback is exactly is very beneficial to me. So again, leave your guys' comments too, what you guys think about this Ole Miss win over LSU. What do you think their outlook is for the rest of the season? And feel free to check out other videos on this podcast channel's page. Thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you next time.